Hi girls and boys, so today we are in chapter 2 of unit 5, lesson 1. What are some physical properties of matter? You already know what matter is, and they have physical and chemical properties. In this lesson we are only going to focus on physical properties. The characteristics of a substance which enable us to distinguish it from any other substances are called properties. Any characteristic that can be observed or measured without changing the substance is called physical property. Now, some of these properties, such as mass and size, can change according to how much of a substance is in an object. All the physical properties, however, never change, including color, smell, attraction to magnet, and melting and boiling point. Now, can you define each one of these properties? Write it in a comment section down below. Now, let's count the observable physical property. Texture. Texture is an observable physical property that can be used to identify a substance. It's how the surface of a substance feels. For example, it might be rough, smooth, waxy, or powdery. Another observable physical property is malleability and ductility. Malleability is the ability of a substance to be bent, hammered into thin sheets, or otherwise shaped without breaking. As you know, many metals are malleable. Ductility is the ability of a substance to be pulled into thin threads without breaking. Many metals, including gold, have ductility. Substances that have the property of ductility is said to be ductile. The opposite of both malleable and ductile is brittle. Brittle means that the substance breaks easily. Now let's continue with the property that can be measured. Mass and volume of a substance are physical properties that can be measured. These properties vary because they depend on the amount of substance present. An important physical property that can be calculated from measurement is density. Density is the amount of mass that fits in a given volume. So you can measure this by dividing its mass by the volume. Even though the mass and volume of a substance may vary, the ratio of these two measurements doesn't usually change for a solid or a liquid. The density of a gas, however, is more variable. Now, the density also determines another physical properties, and that's the buoyancy. Buoyancy is the ability to float in a liquid or rise in a gas. A substance is buoyant if its density is less than that of the liquid or gas. Now, let's watch this video that explains buoyancy.
Topic: buoyancy. Can you drown in the Dead Sea? Your answer must be yes, right? You must be thinking that anyone who cannot swim will obviously drown, whether it is a swimming pool or the Dead Sea. However, that is not 100% true. Confused? Let me explain to you. When an object is partly or wholly immersed in a fluid, an upward force is exerted by the fluid on that object. This tendency of the fluid to exert an upward force on the object is called buoyancy, or upthrust. This upward force is called buoyant force. So, do you finally get it? Let me give you one more example. Place a piece of wood in water and push it downwards. What do you observe? It seems like something is pushing the piece of wood upwards, right? Water exerts an upward force on the wood. That is why the wood is getting pushed upwards. This force is called buoyant force, and the tendency of water to exert that buoyant force is called buoyancy. Dead Sea has a huge amount of salt dissolved in it as compared to any other sea or ocean. The presence of this salt increases density of water present in the Dead Sea. Higher density leads to greater buoyant force. As the Dead Sea has very high density, it exerts enough amount of buoyant force to make us float on it. So, if we can float on the Dead Sea, we are definitely not going to drown in it.
Hooray!
Now that we learned about the physical properties, let's have a talk about physical change. What is physical change? Physical changes are changes in appearance only. A new substance is not created and chemical bonds are not formed or broken. For example, take this stack of paper and widen it up into smaller pieces. That is a physical change. It still has the same properties of the original papers. It's still paper. Cutting someone's hair is a physical change because you are changing the appearance, right? And the hair had the same properties as the original hair. Phase change are physical changes as well. Changes are physical changes. When ice goes from a solid to liquid to a gas and then back to those physical changes, this is a physical change. Mass mixtures are physical changes. For example, mixing salt and water together is a physical change because the salt and water can be separated out later. Now, let's hammer an aluminum and see what happens. It can be rolled into thin, flexible foil and it won't break. This changing is a physical process because only the appearance of aluminum is changing. It is called malleability. The same thing applies on copper. This is because the physical property of copper, its malleability. Also, what you see here on the screen is a test for ductility. As you see, aluminum and copper can be drawn into wires without breaking. And also, copper is used for electrical wiring because it's ductile and conducts electricity well. That's it for today, guys. Don't forget to answer the self-check question and the lesson review, as well as answering the homework. By the way, I have another homework. Mention other physical changes that you may have in mind or you may have seen. Alright, good luck. Goodbye.